Hi everyone and welcome. It's Lauren here from Acting Classes in Perth. This is episode number 48 of the Acting Classes in Perth Your Questions Answered Daily Show. The show where I'm here to answer all of your acting related questions at 7 p.m. every single day here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live simultaneously. Now let's jump straight into this episode and roll the intro. Okay, so today's question comes into us from Susan. Now, before we get to that, if you are watching us, please give us a big thumbs up or leave a comment or simply ask a question that you'd like to appear on a future episode. But first of all, let's jump into today's question, which is brought in to us from Susan. Susan, what's your question?
If English is not my first language, is that a problem?
Susan, thank you so much. Great question. It is one I do get a lot at my level 1 acting classes. Now, yes and no, right? So there's a yes and a no answer. So firstly, if you are not clear and the audience just can't understand what you're saying, then yeah, this is going to be an issue. However, for the most part, most actors who don't learn English as a second language are fairly fluent and able to articulate and pronounce fairly well anyway, and that's something you're going to need to work towards, right? So in that case, what I would definitely say to you and what I would be making aware to you is that, okay, it's not going to be a major problem for you, especially in Perth. However, there may be a slight less number of roles that you're going to go for. However, in addition to that, there will then be roles that I think are more appropriate for you, given your background and your cultural background, right? And so when you find those auditions, you're going to be going up against far less number of actors, and so your chances of getting that role are just going to be so much greater as well, right? So there's always a yin to every yang. There's an equal and opposite. My job is also to help restructure you, help you look at situations in a different way. Plus, don't forget that there are a lot of actors who I've worked with who have very strong cultural backgrounds and may be part of certain kind of community groups and or organizations while they're here in Australia or Western Australia specifically. And so what I see them doing a lot is actually partaking in acting within those organizations and community groups. And what I mean by that is, local productions for those cultural groups, and even extending that out into, say, church groups, right? Where there are some churches that definitely put on plays, put on productions, and are always active as well. And then that spans right across into the overall cultural scenario that you may fit into as well. So I don't believe it's going to be a major problem. I would also really be encouraging you to be an actor producer in this case. If you feel it might be a bit of a setback, go out there and start producing your own content, because at the moment, if you don't have much behind you and you are at a slight disadvantage because you maybe English isn't your first language, then it is going to be a lot harder to kind of promote yourself, right? So what I'm going to say is try the stuff I mentioned, and then at the very last, you also want to be creating your own content and putting yourself in there as your own lead actor when you are producing this content and kind of pulling it all together. Then that way it shows these other filmmakers out there that you have started to build an audience, right? Because that's important. And then on top of that, you are actually doing it as well. So you're a part of projects. You're more likely to be hired for their projects. Thank you so much, Susan, for sending in this question. Now, if you liked Susan's question, make sure you support your local actor. Click the share button. Now, if you are watching us on Facebook, be sure to click the like and also follow our page. If you're watching us on YouTube, click subscribe and then be sure to hit the notifications bell. Make sure you are staying connected with us by clicking that notifications bell. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, if you're listening to us on iTunes, click subscribe for all those channels we're going to keep you updated with. Everything becomes available from us here at Acting Classes in Perth. Now, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I'm going to see you again tomorrow at 7 p.m. for another awesome question answered by me. Until then, stay safe and like always, happy acting.